war footage the whole time and talk about the war and why no war. But when there's not, you got to make some shit up or push an opinion. And that's where we've gotten with news now. Now news is piss them off and scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's how we keep them watching.
And that's the business model.
It is now.
And it's also piss them off and scare the shit out of them, but ignore certain things that your sponsors wouldn't like you to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why, Tulsi Gabbard, in her final act as Director of National Intelligence, as she's leaving, she gave that press conference about Fauci. And she talked about how he lied in front of Congress and that he absolutely used American tax funds to fund gain-of-function research through EcoHealth Alliance and through the Wuhan lab in Wuhan, China. And, no one's covering it.
No. And by the way, didn't we all know that already?
Well, we knew it, but my parents didn't. People that just read the newspapers and watch TV, they don't know.
I've never seen anything as flagrantly obvious as COVID coming from the Wuhan lab studying COVID.
Right.
I've never, and you've got fucking news anchors keeping a straight face saying it came from the wet market.
Did you ever see Jon Stewart's bit on it that he did on the Colbert Show?
No.
You never saw it?
No.
Oh, we need to play it. Let's play it because it's so funny because Colbert tries to stop him from doing it and push back. And John, he's a great comic. He just gets up from his chair and gets louder and just plows through it.
Really?
Over Colbert's trying to cock block his bit. He's it's a funny bit. And he's getting in the way. Oh, I'd like to see, if you have information on that, I'd like to see it. And he just keeps going. He keeps plowing away. It's very funny. And it's in the middle of it, right? This was a courageous step because he was doing this when calling it out and saying that it came from a lab in Wuhan, China was somehow or another conflated with racism. Remember that?
Yeah.
If you said it came from Wuhan, China, from a lab, you're racist.
Yeah.
How did you pull that off? It's no one's saying anything. It's racist. It's from fucking China, and it seems like EcoHealth Alliance funded it, and it seems like we funded EcoHealth Alliance.
Yes.
There's a lot of fucking paperwork.
And by the way, there's studies on the fucking disease that they've been doing that are posted on the CDC website. They're posted on the fucking... My favorite was when you catch all this shit about ivermectin.
Yeah.
And literally, when that happened, I went, oh, I'll fucking look that up. Look up ivermectin. And studies with ivermectin. And a study pops up on the CDC website while people are telling us to not take that shit. And it talks about the efficacy of ivermectin and antiviral properties, specifically COVID-19.
Yeah.
So it's on the government website that the fucking drug works while they're telling everyone to not take it.
And they're mocking me for taking a horse dewormer. Watch this. This is great. Yeah. Well, wild times in the news, because I think from then on, that sort of sent a shockwave through the majority of the population where just whatever trust they had in the news just got severely eroded.
Yeah.
And if we don't have good news, if we don't have trust in the news, then we're kind of adrift. And then you get locked into fucking conspiracy theories and echo chambers online, and you can get trapped in them too, and that's not good either.
Yeah, then there's nowhere to go get information.
Has anybody in NBC, CBS, CNN, have any of those people picked up on that Tulsi Gabbard speech about Fauci and had any sort of a reaction to it? I'd like to know that. Because from what I was reading online, none of them had. But this was as of yesterday. I don't know whether or not that's changed. I don't know if they were preparing an article and they wanted to make sure that they got all their ducks in a row.
I would think pretty much any time the head of an institute is begging for a pardon when he hasn't been charged with any crime is a pretty good indicator. You might want to look and see if there's been a crime committed.
Was he begging for a pardon? I mean,
Fauci was he had attorneys. This is in part of that deal. He had attorneys reaching out to Biden's camp the last day when he got the pardon.
Jeez.
The very last day.
Jeez. It's just a preemptive pardon is nuts, especially when Rand Paul's questioning him and he's talking to him specifically about what defines gain of function research. And by all account, by every definition, it's gain-of-function research. And Fauci's still saying, you do not know what you are talking about, with all due respect.
Even though he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Rand Paul's a fucking doctor.
He's an actual doctor.
And then they say, well, you're an eye doctor. Well, that's my specialty. But before I became an eye doctor, I became a general doctor, which means I studied all the same shit that Fauci studied.
Yeah.
You got to go through medical school before you go pick a specialty. So 4 years of studying the entire body before you specialize in whatever you're going to specialize in.
Also, then if you read RFK Jr.'s book, The Real Anthony Fauci, you find out he ran this exact same playbook during the AIDS pandemic. It was the exact same playbook. That's what the Dallas Buyers Club is about. The Dallas Buyers Club, that McConaughey movie about AIDS, the fucking villain is Anthony Fauci. He's the guy that's stopping them from getting alternative medications. That's the guy that wanted everybody to take AZT. You know why? Because AZT had already been approved. They had already used it as a cancer medication. It was a chemotherapy medication that they stopped using because it was too deadly. It was killing people quicker than cancer was killing them. So the first medication they gave people when they had an immune system that was compromised was a chemotherapy medication that was killing people. And they were giving it to people that were asymptomatic. They were giving it to people that tested HIV positive. And then you know about the PCR testing. So the PTR test, Kerry Mullis, the guy who invented PCR testing, said publicly about Fauci, he does not know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't think he said fuck, but he does not know what he's talking about. And that it's not supposed to be used to detect a disease in a person's body. And that if you ramp up the cycles long enough, just like they did with COVID, where we got by some estimations, 80% false positives because of the PCR method, because they were ramping them up so high. And so they cut it back quite significantly, and that reduced the amount of false positives they had. But there's a lot of people that got tested as HIV positive that probably weren't. And they put those fucking people on AZT. And AZT kills you.
Wow.
Yeah, nuts. Most mainstream outlets are treating it as a serious but unproven political bombshell. They're reporting that Gabbard alleges, stressing the documents are disputed and under review, and highlighting how polarized the reaction is. Mainstream print, Jerusalem Post, Money Control, Newsweek summarize her accusations, emphasize that COVID's origins remain unresolved, and note that the claims about Fauci sparking COVID or lying under oath are heavily contested, not yet legally validated. Many stories frame this as reigniting a long-running fight over lab leak versus natural origin. Listen, that fight is over, kids. That fight's over. If you are in the news and you are saying that there's still a long-running controversy as to whether it's a lab leak or natural origin, shut your fucking dirty whore mouth, because it's not. The fight's over. It's a fucking lab leak. They say the new documents will need independent scrutiny from Congress, investigators, and scientists before any firm conclusions can be drawn. Okay. Right-leaning media highlight her file dump as vindication for critics, focus on the cover-up narrative, and give prominent space to Republicans like Rand Paul. Why does it more centrist or mainstream outlets present it as a straighter news tone, often pairing Gabbard's and GOP's quotes with Fauci's past denials, and nothing there is so far, no judicial finding of perjury or criminal conduct?
What I've never understood is how this became a left or right issue.
So stupid.
When Fauci, who's a career bureaucrat, right? When all this started, there was a Republican president.
Yep.
Right? And then he served that Republican president. He served the Democratic president before that, and then he served a Republican. He's been there for fucking 50 years.
Yeah. He's been there forever.
This dude, it's not political. It shouldn't be political. There shouldn't be a right-left side to this. It's, hey, a career bureaucrat fucking lied to us.
He used the exact same language when he was talking about AZT as a medication for HIV that he used for the COVID vaccine. The reason why it's the only medication is because it is both safe and effective. The guy's a monster.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys, like throughout history, where you're going to look back over time and you go, holy shit, this one guy's lies, this one